What if I told you that the secret to getting more done wasn't to actually do more, but to structure your time around what truly matters? Well, today I'm taking you through a full day in my life as an orthopedic surgery resident at the Mayo Clinic to show you exactly what I mean. It isn't just about optimizing work, it's about making space for things that bring balance, energy, and meaning. And for me, that's my faith, my health, time for deep work, and of course, my family. Because at the end of the day, being productive isn't just about how much we accomplish, it's about how we invest our time. It's about 4:35 in the morning, and there are 3 keys that I found in my life that make for a successful morning. Number 1, don't even look at the phone. Don't even think about the phone. Do not tap that screen at all costs. 2, the longer that I stay in bed, the harder it is to get out of bed. So the snooze button should not exist. And 3, always start the morning with some movement. I start my morning with movement, not because it's easy, but because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. There's research showing that even 20 to 30 minutes of exercise can improve focus, boost mood, and increase energy levels for up to 12 hours. And in residency, where my days can be unpredictable and demanding, I can't afford to show up with anything less than my best. I've also found that exercise isn't just physical, it's mental. It's a discipline. It's a commitment to prioritizing my well-being before the day starts making demands on me. Now it's about 5:30, and first time that I'm looking at my phone for the day. So nearly up for 1 hour before looking at the phone, key. And the only reason now I'm looking at it is to do my morning Bible study. The Bible app has an amazing program where you get to just every day do a Bible check-in. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't know how my nearly 7-month pregnant wife works out more than I do and longer than I do, but she's a beast, guys. She is a beast. In medicine, it's easy to let your work define you. Long shifts, constant learning, high-stake decisions. It can feel like your worth is tied to how much you achieve. But for me, faith is a reset. It just reminds me that my identity isn't in what I do, but in who I'm becoming. One thing that I've noticed about myself is that if I do not intentionally plan how I want my day to go, then the day just goes. And I actually do this the night before, so I planned my schedule for the day last night. And if I don't do that, then I actually don't get anything done. And on days where you try to be as productive as possible, it is important to first start with a plan. So you can see here, I have different activities that I plan on doing for the day. And there are little gaps in between, just in case certain things run too long. And I don't know if you can see this, but we are officially in our deep work session. So now that I actually have free time and I'm not having to go into the hospital, one of the best and most productive things that I can do is time block deep work. And this just means work. Without this, and I intentionally keep it pretty vague with deep work because I have a running task list, a list of to-dos, and deep work is just dedicated time where I can focus and try to get as much of those things done as possible. And the lighter that to-do list, the lighter the mental load that I go into the day. And this morning, we're gonna tackle some studying. When I'm in a deep work session, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to face moments of distraction and moments of boredom. And because of this, I just have realized how important it is to have tools in your toolkit that you can fall back on, that when you feel distracted, will point you back towards doing something productive. There's this awesome book, it's called Indistractable. And the author basically paints this diverging picture of traction, which are doing things that are moving you towards your ultimate goals, and distraction, which are the things that are pulling you away from that. And so because of that, the last thing that I want to do when I feel distracted is to go on my phone, because all that is going to do is to pull me more towards more distraction. I'm going to be scrolling, I'm going to be checking emails, doing all the things that are not ultimately pushing me towards what I want to accomplish in the day. So having things that can help push you back towards traction is important. When I'm in my office, a few things help me. One is standing up, just standing usually gets me back focused. And 2, sometimes is just changing the task. Like I said, I have a running list of tasks and to-do lists, and if I get burnt out on one, then at least I can just switch to another one and still feel like I'm accomplishing something. Madison just came in to talk to me about a few events that we're doing for our community Teach As You Learn. And this reminded me to remind you guys, if you're a pre-med or medical student interested or needing mentorship, which every pre-med and med student needs, you are definitely going to want to be a part of our community Teach As You Learn. But she is now planning a few awesome events for this month. At the time of this recording, it's January, so these are January events. And what events were you planning for this month?
Well, we did our Q1 goal at the beginning of the year. Our Q1. So we do that every 3 months. This one is like how to balance like work and life and studies and just like your extracurriculars and some strategies that you've learned and best practices and just like practical strategies that you can use trying to get to and through medicine healthily.
Yeah.
And then we also have our Q&A, our monthly Q&A
Awesome.
that we'll do later.
Awesome. Look at that. 3 months there are 3 events this month, quarter planning, some work-life balance, and then just a monthly Q&A with me. So if any of that stuff is interesting to you as a pre-med or medical student, which it should be, you definitely want to check out the community. The link is in the description. All right, now let's get back to work.
What are you doing? I'm gonna take I want to do a roller coaster.
Yeah, you got stuff in your teeth.
Ooh, there it goes. Here you go. Oh, sorry. Wait, what are you doing?
How big? Take.
What
Yeah.
that look like?
Thank you.
Studies show that people who engage in spiritual practices, whether it's prayer, meditation, or community worship, report lower stress levels and greater resilience in high-pressure environments. For me, taking time to step away from the chaos and reconnect with my faith isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
Crowns everywhere you go. Oh, is this from church?
This? Look from here.
Show me what you got. You found it.
Really quick, before we continue with this video, I want to introduce its kind sponsor, FlexiSpot. Balance isn't just about how you spend your time, it's also about how well you recover. And all rest is not created equal. There is a difference between just sitting down and actually recharging your body and mind. And that's where FlexiSpot's oversized swivel rocker recliner comes in. This chair isn't just a place to sit, it is designed for true recovery. The ergonomic build supports your body so that you can fully relax, while the wide seat and plush cushioning make it easy to unwind after a long day. Whether I'm reading, reflecting, or just taking a moment to breathe, this chair makes my rest more intentional and effective than ever. Because here's the thing, if your rest doesn't actually recharge you, you're not really resting. And to keep up with the demands of a busy schedule, you need rest that works as hard as you do. That's why FlexiSpot's entire lineup of ergonomic furniture is built to help you feel better, recover faster, and stay at your best. Oh, and also, my wife and I are expecting our second kiddo, and this is going to make for the perfect nursing chair. I literally cannot wait to see Madison rocking the new little one to sleep in this recliner. And I'm sure even the new baby is going to appreciate the comfort of this chair. And maybe it'll even help it sleep, which would help us sleep. But if you're on the market for a chair to optimize your rest and recovery, definitely check out the FlexiSpot recliner using the link in the description below. And thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. Okay, let's get back to it. Being around family is great. It helps me recharge a ton. But when I need to get into deep focus, especially for patient-related work like reviewing charts or making phone calls, I've learned that changing my environment is key. Research shows that our brains associate certain spaces with specific tasks. It's called context-dependent memory. That's why working in different locations can actually help with focus and productivity. For me, heading to a hospital workroom makes it so much easier to switch into work mode and stay on top of my responsibilities without distractions. If you've ever felt stuck or unmotivated at home, try switching up your scenery, whether it's a coffee shop, a library, or a dedicated workspace with a picture of you outside the front. Sometimes productivity isn't just about pushing harder, it's about creating the right conditions to stay focused. My awesome co-resident, Dr. Prince Boydie, came to join me for a little work session, and I thought he'd be the perfect person to talk a little bit about productivity and at least hear what his tips, tricks, strategies for being productive in a busy life, also as a resident, is like. So Prince, now you're in this video. What are your strategies for productivity?
One, I'm not an expert. I don't think I'd be the one to ask. But obviously, to get to this point, you got to have some type of productivity skills or at least a game plan. And I would say the things that I've at least learned, I'll say that, are trying to hit the things that are easily accomplished first and getting those done, because it kind of builds some confidence in yourself and builds a routine of getting tasks done, but then also gets small things off of your mind and out of your cognitive load, as we've learned recently in our leadership curriculum, so that you can focus on the big things. The second thing I would mention is planning. Now, sometimes you can plan too much, but I remember a quote that I got when I was in undergrad was, failing to plan is planning to fail. So I think that if you don't put forth a plan of, this is what I want to get done this week, this month, or today, in some way. Some people like writing it down, some people like putting it in their phone, some people just like putting it in their head and they have a good enough memory. I think that's pretty important. Another productivity thing is, I think, being in an environment where you know you're going to get work done. Some people like being in a coffee shop. Some people like being totally isolated in a cool space that's either warm or hot, with however many computers they need, however much space they need, all the food they have around. But I think putting yourself in a space where you will need to get up the least and can just go at it is most important. Also, dressing the way you want to dress. Like for me, when I really want to get work done, you've already seen your guy JR say it, but having a hoodie on, headphones in, and then being locked in with some headwear, it's the best thing to do, to just know that, okay, today's a no games being played day.
Nothing like a do-rag to represent no games being played. Yeah. That's how I rock. Y'all saw it this morning.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's hidden under here. So you gotta have that on too. But I'd say another productivity thing would be maybe hitting big tasks in smaller chunks, but not waiting too long to do that, because something that I learned from one of our very wise co-residents is sometimes you take so long to do something and you realize actually it wasn't going to take that long, and then you're just dreading the procrastination that you just did for the past month. So that's another big thing about productivity, is try doing the task maybe in small chunks, and then you can see like, okay, this is how long it takes, and then you know how to pace yourself. So those are the biggest things I would say for sure.
Facts. No, that's facts. I think on the last point, there's a big talk on procrastination being related to an emotion, and people procrastinate because of the emotion tied to a task, and oftentimes we overemphasize how terrible a task is going to be, which causes a severe negative emotion, which then causes procrastination. But when you actually do the task, you realize that you were just boosting it up and it wasn't actually as bad as you may have perceived it to be. And so if you can trick your brain to not perceiving the task as being as bad as you think it is, because it probably won't be, then the emotion tied to the task will not be as bad, and the likelihood of procrastinating will go down severely. But 4 straight facts from Dr. Prince Boydie. In medicine, it's so easy to let work take over. There's always more to learn, more to do, more patients to take care of. But I've come to realize if I don't intentionally make time for my family, life will find a way to fill that space with something else. There's a 75-year Harvard study on adult development that followed people from their early years into old age. And the biggest predictor of happiness and long-term success wasn't wealth or career achievement or fame. It was the strength of their relationships. For me, family is grounding. It reminds me why I'm doing all of this in the first place. But it's not just about being present, it's about being fully present. No phones, no emails, no thinking about work, just connecting. Even if it's a short conversation, a quick meal together, some buckets with Kari, just checking in with someone that I care about, all of these things can make all of the difference. And now, no better way to end the night than with a Bible study with a few of my co-residents and a mentor. The truth is, productivity isn't just about doing more. It's about being intentional with your time. If you feel like you're constantly busy but still unfulfilled, here's my challenge to you. Take a step back and ask yourself, are you spending time on the things that actually matter? Here's a simple way to check. For the next few days, write down where your time is going. Then ask yourself, does this reflect my priorities? Where am I just reacting to life instead of designing it? Because real productivity isn't about squeezing in more tasks. It's about structuring your time so that you can commit to what's most important in a way that's actually sustainable. When you do that, you don't just get more done, but you build a life that's actually fulfilling. If you enjoyed this video, then I know without a shadow of a doubt, you would absolutely love this one where I show you what the first year of residency is actually like. Keep evolving, and I'll see you guys in the next one.